Good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Business Morning. We're live to you on Channels Television. You know it's your home for the news. I'm Harriet Agbenyi. It's a pleasure to have you join me on today's edition of the program. It's going to be quite a packed package. We're talking about oil and gas, and we're also talking about the state of the currencies market. That's the foreign exchange market. And talking about oil and gas sector, of course, we'll talk a little bit about the Vice President's visit to the Niger Delta, starting with Delta State yesterday. And Professor Yemi Osinbajo began an interactive engagement and fact-finding visit on Monday with Delta State as the first port of call. He was accompanied on that visit by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, and the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program and Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta matters, retired Brigadier General Paul Boro. Now, this fact-finding visit is expected to put in perspective the quick wins to achieve peace in the Delta. Don't forget that yesterday we talked about this on the Business Morning, and we focused on the 16-point demand from stakeholders from the Niger Delta, where they want, amongst other things, for that particular region to get more attention from the executive, from the federal government, and they also want the setting up of a maritime university. So that's one of the things that actually happened yesterday when the Vice President visited Delta State, Baramatu. He went to some other communities as well and talked to the royal fathers and other stakeholders in the Delta on the best way to achieve lasting peace in that region. So we're still talking about matters with regards oil and gas. Now, Nigeria's oil output is expected to average 1.8 million barrels per day in 2017. That's a 13% increase from the 1.6 million barrels per day average achieved in 2016, according to analysts at EcoBank Research. Now, in its 2017 oil expectations for Nigeria, EcoBank Research predicts oil revenues are likely to come in significantly higher than in 2016, but still lower than 2015, as oil price volatility and export struggles will likely moderate revenue growth. Of course, we'll talk more about this later on the program when we're talking about developments in the Nigeria energy market, and Channel's business news editor Boston Mofaye is coming in to take a look at these issues that were raised in this particular report. Now, one story that nearly got drowned in all the oil stories we were tracking on the program was the appearance of the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, and the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, before the House of Representatives Joint Committees on Finance Appropriation, Aids, Loans and Debt. And they were summoned to defend projections in the 2017-2019 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. Now, the Minister of Finance told the committees that the federal government is working to improve the supply of dollars this year. Let's listen.
I believe that there's something of a speculative bubble that's going on. If someone bought dollars today at 450 and sells tomorrow at 490, you just think that's the newest game in town. But eventually it will collapse because it's not driven, that is the black market will collapse because it is not driven or supported by any fundamentals, none at all. It is just emotion. You or I should be able to walk into a bank and get hire purchase or get a loan on a car. They don't know how to credit score us because they never had to. So yes, taking away that business from them in the short term may look painful, but the long-term impact on the economy is going to be positive because we are now forcing them to go and do proper banking.
The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun. So it's a speculative bubble, but well, we're hoping to get the thoughts of the President of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators. We're talking about the state of Nigeria's foreign exchange market, as I said, and Aminu Gwadabe is the President of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators. He'll be joining us on the program. Let's remind you how to join the conversation on any of our social media platforms. On Twitter, you can find us at Biz Morning and at Channels TV, or you can tweet at me. I'm at CTV Harriet, or at People, so we'll be glad to mind your business. And also send us an email to businessmorning@channelstv.com to join the conversation, the currencies conversation, or the oil and gas conversation that we're having on the program. or any other issue talking about what's going on in the economy. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission starts 2017 reorganizing for efficiency and has relocated the Inspectorate Division of the Commission's Monitoring Department to its Lagos Zonal Office. The Commission says this is to ensure a successful implementation of risk-based supervision, model and regulation of systematically important financial institutions in the capital. But some staff will be retained at the head office to handle some operators from the northern parts of the country.